I've always enjoyed woodworking because of the creativity you can put into it. You can also make basic furniture or craft it cheaper than buying it pre-built at the store. I'm going to talk to you guys today on how I dining room table. I've spent time going over designs, adjusting them to my required size, shopped around for good prices of lumber, and got to work. I decided on this design because it's strong and it's really easy and really simple build. I have some tools I used in the process here, and I'm going to demonstrate how I use them. First, safety first. Always wear safety glasses when you are operating a power tool. When I built the legs, I measured them with a measuring tape. The standard size for a table is normally 30 inches. I screwed 2 pieces of lumber together like this, and I'm going to show you what I did. Okay. So I screwed these 2 blocks together to provide stronger support for the leg, basically making it the foundation. To make the legs presentable, because nobody wants to see these screws, I used a stainable wood filler. I used it with the putty knife, and I also did this for any imperfections, like if there's a dent in the wood. For example, there's some dents like right here. I used wood filler to fill in those dents to make it smooth as possible. And then as for the tabletop frame, I made a rectangle with extra supports going horizontal, and then screwed that to the legs. Moving on to the tabletop, there are many ways that you can put a tabletop together. One example is a Kreg jig, which is a pocket hole guide tool. This thing right here. For this table though, the lumber did not agree with the Kreg jig. It just was too bowed. So after checking each piece of lumber that are lined, leveled, and even an overhang on each side, I screwed each of the 2x6 supports underneath. I'm going to show you. Underneath right here, screws right here, support, screwed onto the support to attach the tabletop together by each individual piece of 2x6s. Now, for the tabletop, I had to sand it. To sanding, I use this sander right here to sand it to make it as smooth as possible. For the tabletop, I used these grits of sandpaper. I used 80. I used 120, and then I used 320 in that order. The trick to getting a good stain is to sand to the highest grit. 320, which is the smoothest, is a good place to stop with sanding and staining. Next, you want to pre-stain the wood conditioner. This right here, to avoid any blotching, which doesn't look good. It's like a big blob, looks like a big blob on your table, and just doesn't look good at all. After that, you go to staining. I picked this color because it's a dark walnut. It goes with anything. And once you stain it with a clean rag in a circular motion, and then leave it on there for a little bit to make it a little bit darker. Once you rub it in, make sure you wear gloves, otherwise it will stain your hands. But when you are done staining it in circular motion, wipe off any excess, it will look like this without anything else by itself. Now for tabletop, wear and tear can happen on it, so you want to protect it. So I used polyurethane to protect it. I used 2 coats of this. It's definitely good to have that on there. You can do one coat, but I did two because I want extra protection on here. Once that dries on your tabletop and it looks all pretty and shiny, your table is ready to go. Let me end by saying woodworking is such a fun activity to get into, especially if you like assembling, building things, staining, painting, any of that. It's really fun to get into, so I hope you guys enjoyed.